Alright, so this is the third video on this 70 Z50 that we're doing some work on. Gonna work on the engine today. We're doing a big bore kit. I got an 88cc jug for TBparts. We're gonna put a CT70 standard stock head on that's been rebuilt. All new hardware, valves, valve seats cut. I'm going to take off this paint. This case was painted with a silver, so we're going to work on getting this back to the natural aluminum, get it cleaned up as nice as possible. I'll do some clutch work in preparation for the new healthy head top end, get this repainted, refinished in a Honda Cloud silver. Last video I made on this, I was refurbishing the factory wheels and spent a while just getting them blasted and refinished, but it's funny that I spent a whole day, uploaded the video, and then I got a text from the owner just randomly. He didn't know I was doing all that, that he decided that he wanted to just get OEM rims. So I ordered some new rims, and these are just going to be, these are just going to be what it is, cleaned up rims that we're not going to use. And so I'll just make a video of the work that I'll be doing on this bike today, and you guys can follow along. Hope you enjoy it. Let's just work on getting this engine out. I got the two engine bolts, frame bolts out. I'm gonna take my muffler. It's a two-part muffler. Just gonna remove the front part now. Leave the rear. Take the pipe out and then leave the muffler on the frame. The beauty of working on these small bikes, I can lift everything up and not break my back. So I got all my bolts out. Should be able to just get this frame up and off. Oh. Disconnect the harness. Gently pick that up. Since I'm going to take the clutch cover off and do some work, I'm going to get the foot pegs off. I do notice that there's some oil dripping on this, so I suspect that it's going to be that shifter shaft seal. So we'll get the, I'm going to go around and replace some seals while I'm at it. These bolts are in pretty snug, so I'm going to resort to a socket and make my own breaker bar. So engine's outside now. I'm gonna start working on getting this engine paint removed off the center case. I'm gonna leave everything on because I'm gonna do some wire wheeling, some chemicals, and just want to make sure the engine's all sealed up for this process. Just gonna start with some aircraft remover. This is the Rust-Oleum brand. I got this from a site called Zorro.com. Best price you can find these big jugs at. I think if you buy 2 of them, you get free shipping, so probably like $50. But I use this stuff for softening up gaskets to its other use for removing paint. I'm confident this is just rattle can silver, so this stuff's just gonna get eaten up really quick. Make it my life easier when it comes to the wire wheeling. I'll be able to just pull it right off most likely and expose the aluminum case below. So just let that sit. Already looks like it's doing its job. Alright, so I don't think this paint really stood a chance to this chemical, so kind of wiping it down, and looks like a well-preserved aluminum case since that paint was sitting on it. Actually, the hardware paint came off the hardware. The hardware looks good. It's not rusted, so I'm just gonna leave those in. But I'll go over everything with a wire wheel, probably a brass wheel or something. See if I can't give it a little bit of a polish look to it, and do the underside. Do as much inside on this flywheel side cover area, and once that's all cleaned up, I'll be okay to pull the top end off and do the clutch work and stuff. But I didn't want to unseal this engine until I got all this old paint and crap off, and prevent any chance of any contaminants getting into the bottom end, which I'm not taking apart on this motor. I'm just going to use this wire wheel on a Dremel-like tool, just kind of get in the nooks and crannies and make sure I'm pulling up all the residual paint. So this is after wire wheeling. I did take some brake cleaner, took off any of the varnish that was built up, the darker varnish, and now we're down to that bare aluminum. That's nice and clean. Actually looks pretty good as it is now, but I'm going to use a little buffing wheel with some mothers and go over the case again and see if I can get a little more shine to it. Alright, so that's off their mother's buffing wheel, and I'm just going to put some brake cleaner, polish it off, and you'll see it flash out and the shine will show up. So pretty good results for just a mother's process. So that's as far as I'm going to take it with the polishing. Came out good. Alright, time to start working on the clutch side and take off the top end and get the big bore kit and CT70 head on it. Decided to tackle the clutch first. Got my fibers soaking. I got my case screws off already. Got my air compressor filled up. I'm going to do blasting on the side cover and refinish that with the cloud silver. But kind of always like to open these up, and these are like time capsules, so see how clean the engine is or how clean it's not. So there we go. I would see that's a very clean motor. I don't see any sludge or anything really, and even on the bottom I can run my finger down here and then just pull your little filter here, and there's really nothing even in the filter. So well serviced engine. So I'll just put some protective cover over this clutch end of the engine while I prep the side cover. I got my self-etching primer on, and we're going to let this dry for a little bit, and then we'll put the top coat of the Honda's cloud silver on it. Alright, so we got good 3 coats. We're going to let that dry for a while. That's the Honda silver on there. So I got the clutch basket out. As you can see, the engine was really clean inside, but you can see that the centrifugal action of this clutch basket is doing its job effectively, because you can see all this gunk that it catches that circulates through the engine. So we'll clean this basket up, put some new friction plates in, and then reinstall it, and then get that side cover on once it's dried, and then I'm going to work on the top end. So clutch friction material has been replaced, everything's back assembled. Now I just need to get the side cover back on. That took like 35-40 minutes just to get that gasket off that engine case. Alright, so we're at the stage here. I'm going to put my top end on, and just to refresh you guys, we're doing a CT70 head that's been rebuilt, and I went with a TBparts 88 jug and piston kit that is pistons designed to work on the factory CT70 head. So I just went ahead and painted the jug from a silver to a black to help match the as much of the original color, build scheme as possible. Okay, pistons on. Just always stuff something in this jug on this hole on the case. You don't want a wrist pin falling in the engine. So always take a second just to put a little backer behind that while you're putting your piston on. Last thing you want to do is be digging out a wrist pin clip. The top end's completely reassembled on there. Everything's torqued down. That's about as far as I'm going to take this engine for this video. I got rims, new rims on order. We're going to have to build the hubs out, get those all assembled, get it back on its wheels. The original handlebars that were modified don't have any brake perches on them anymore, so I did get some new nice handlebars. We're going to put that on the bike. So we'll skip that on there. Alright, bars are mounted. That was easy enough, of course. I'm going to make a separate video on installing this throttle assembly. So on this video you'll just see it installed, but I'm going to make a separate video that kind of steps you through how to properly put all the parts together and get it to function correctly. Alright, so I got my handlebars on. I did go ahead and just polish the old retaining rings here. Twist throttle's on, everything's working good. So we got that ran on this bike. New handlebars. So we'll put our switch on. Just install your switch before you put your brake lever on, because you need to get your screw in from this lever area. And then also before you feed in your wire and sheathing into the hole, put on your grommet first. So this area, when you're getting these wires fed, is helpful to have a little pen light, maybe a little pick. Help you get these wires pulled. Sometimes they don't cooperate the best, but these tools make it a little easier. Alright, handlebars are all good to go. Just need to throw on the grips and then I'll run the brake lines. I'm going to mount the motor in the next video. Gotta wait for the rims to show up so I can build the whole rim set and get it back on its wheels and the engine installed and on its kickstand. It's pretty much all done in my mind. And then on to the fun part of tuning with the 88 big bore and the Z50 carb with a jet. So we'll see how that works out for me. Hang tight and I'll get the new video uploaded as soon as I get my wheels in, hopefully early next week.